Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our next guest says the sooner you start talking with your teens and preteens about the upcoming school year, the better. Here to help us navigate that conversation, we welcome back parenting expert Yishai Busi. Good morning, Yishai. How you doing?
I'm good, Helen. Good morning.
Good morning. You know, I've heard a lot of people complaining online about their kids are falling behind, but it seems to me the better approach needs to be that they're surviving a pandemic, for goodness sakes. So have a bit of a better attitude.
Just a small little detail.
Yeah.
One every 100-year pandemic.
Right.
Yeah. So I think, kind of thinking about, this is why I think rethinking, this is a real time to rethink our values as a family and clarify that. Like, what's really important at the end of the day? Social emotional health, coping is what we've really learned is that's such a big deal, and really prioritizing that and among other things and thinking about that, because that is at the end of the day so important. The academics will take care of themselves over time, but the mental health, the anxiety, the depression, the interpersonal skills, relationship skills, that's a bigger thing. More important overall.
Yeah,
sure.
You mentioned clarifying your values. You might talk about the sleep that you're expecting them to get, the downtime, the quality time, the unstructured free time. Tell me more.
Yeah, so going into the school year, starting now, it's a really good opportunity to hit a reset button because it's been such a mess.
Yes.
And it's not over, and it's still going to be messy going into this fall. But there is a transition and a pivot point for us to all rethink, like, before I just jump into the, mess of scheduling and busyness and so many things to do, and our plates will get very full very quickly, very soon. Most of us, it's already starting to happen.
Yeah. And shouldn't also our attitudes about, let's say, masks and vaccines be positive so that they're not carrying another negative thing on their shoulders, the stress of all of that?
As with, we talk about devices, we talk about how we treat people, modeling is the number one thing that influences our kids. More than our lectures, our speeches, they're looking at what we do and how we do it. They just are. They act like they're not interested, but out of the corner of their eye, they're paying attention, they're overhearing us. And so I also think, speaking of values, this isn't just about, are you gonna get COVID, are you gonna be sick? This is about the community. There are people in their community or in their schools who have immune deficiency issues, who are more vulnerable and susceptible, and we need to really think about the community and other people. And that's just a core value that I think we all want in our families and want our kids to internalize. So yeah, it's uncomfortable, it's a pain, it's annoying, but it's not about us.
Yeah.
It's about other people.
You say start having conversations with your kids.
So having conversations ahead of time, when it comes to conversations with teens, I use that term loosely because it could mean 30 seconds, it could mean 30 minutes. And for a lot of teens, many of them would rather eat a box of tacks than have a conversation about school with us.
True.
But we need to start doing it and asking them questions like, what are your thoughts about school? What are you looking forward to? What might be hard? Just to get them thinking and to get them talking and listening a little bit so we can learn a little bit and we can start to work on coming up with some solutions, ideas to help it go well. So be positive, be casual about the conversations. Don't be really intense and expect eye contact and expect a series of them, but it's going to be a really important part. And if they're resistant, one thing to say is, look, I know this isn't that fun, but it's going to make the school year go a lot easier for both of us, and we're going to be less at each other's throats and less stressed if we can start talking about this now.
Absolutely. I have friends who have teenagers who are experiencing anxiety. We can kind of expect that, right?
Anxiety is about uncertainty. When we don't know what's going to happen, we get anxious. And the more anxiety we have, the more we can't tolerate uncertainty. Well, there's a lot of uncertainty ahead of us. A lot of kids I'm seeing more and more of, they're anxious about, there's a lot of social anxiety.
Right.
About what if I see that person, or I don't have friends, or how do I be with people again that I haven't seen in a long time. And so this pandemic has really shed a light on what was already there. It's really exposed things. It's amplified what was there before. It's just made things worse. So a lot of our kids are going to be dealing with anxiety, uncertainty, not knowing. And so we need to, it's really important to listen, support them, but empower them. You can do this. It might be they're nervous about taking the bus. So maybe you start small with them. Let's take the bus together before school starts to help you get in that routine again.
Right.
You know, so really working with them, empowering them, encouraging them, but also having empathy. Yeah, this is going to be really hard. Yeah, I feel anxious too a little bit.
And lastly, it's like adapt as you go. You review, you adapt, you change to what needs to be changed, right?
Yeah, so whatever you talk about, it's not going to be set in stone. The values are going to inform the rules you have. So like sleep is a really important value, getting enough sleep. So that's going to help us make a decision about why phones shouldn't be in your room at night, for example. Being home in time for family dinner, it's a value. Quality family time is an important value. So that's going to inform our rule to be together and have family dinner with no phones out several times a week. So values inform rules, and then rules are going to adapt as you go because we don't have sports schedules yet. There's a lot of things we don't know yet. So we're going to have to adapt as you go and see what's working, what's not working, and continue to have those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Yishai. Great information. Thank you.
Thanks, Helen.